South Carolina Action for Jobs stands behind the Pee Dee Energy Campus because it will help provide for South Carolina future energy needs to fuel our economy and help attract companies that create jobs. This campus will also directly create jobs for the hard-working people in the district in which I represent. These jobs are especially important to the Pee Dee, where the latest unemployment rate is nearing 11% and is substantially higher than any other area of our state. But I want to assure you today that this group, our group that we are forming, South Carolina Action for Jobs, is also committed to protecting the quality of life in our state. Protecting the quality of life means protecting the health of our people and ensuring that any project we support is environmentally sound. This facility proposed by Santee Cooper is anything but your typical coal plant. In fact, it is a high-tech and would have special measures in place to protect public health and our environment. Approximately 1/3 of the $1.25 billion cost of the Pee Dee campus will go towards the latest and the best environmental control technology, which will remove more than 99.9% of particulate matter, more than 98% of sulfide dioxide, and more than 90% of nitrogen oxide, and up to 95% of mercury from the plant's emission. It will be one of the cleanest facilities in this.
Clean coal will also help South Carolina continue to enjoy some of the lowest power costs in the nation. Yet, another reason why South Carolina Action for Jobs support the Pee Dee project. Coal, which recently supplied about 61% of South Carolina energy, needs remain the most affordable and abundant domestic fuel resource, and it is used enable independence of economic security. During these times, we cannot overlook the importance of low-priced electricity. Alternative energy costs about 2 and 5 times more, only work 1/3 of the time. Low power costs will supply major roles and helping South Carolina attract and retain the company that create jobs and for our people. Failure to take action place due burden on business and homeowners in this community. And the question of reliable power is in jeopardy. Potential business and jobs may turn other away, denying our state the economic boost it so desperately needs. Now, I don't know of any business that will move into and that will move here and create jobs if we tell them we don't have enough reliable power to supply them. Business run 24 hours a day and need power 24 hours a day. There's a real possibility of brownouts and blackouts in this state in just a few years unless the Pee Dee Energy Campus is built. That is a crisis that our Pee Dee community cannot survive. As the report recently released by the State Legislative Public Utility Review Committee affirms, these needs cannot be met by wind, solar, conservation, and energy solutions of all the above, and clean coal-fired power and nuclear, and as are required to keep the lights on for South Carolina.
I'm an environmentalist, and I guess the worst environment I can think of is to be cold, hungry, out of work, and in the dark. And you think about it. That's what this group's all about, preventing that. I can't understand why the people of South Carolina and some of these organizations that make a living out of taking the other side of this issue can't see that. This is a technologically advanced coal-fired plant that's proposed, and it will do less harm than any coal-fired plant we have. And you know, in life there's always cannot survive, wind power cannot survive without government subsidies. Solar power can't survive where there's no sunshine. Yeah. These other things, hydroelectric, great source. We've just about harvested every hydroelectric possibility in the country. We've milked that almost as far as we can milk it. And coal, we're the Saudi Arabia with coal. We export coal to all countries around the world. And I just cannot believe that any responsible leaders would take a position that's against the construction of this coal-fired plant in the Pee Dee, the poorest section of South Carolina, where unemployment is continuing to rise on a daily basis. Santee Cooper has done about everything they can in conservation. I think they've saved 400, almost 500 megawatts of electricity through conservation and insulation and that kind of thing. And we're they're going to need 1,100 megawatts of power in the next 5 years or we're going to start having brownout, the lights going out at the resorts as I am. The factories quit turning out product in our factories and plants of South Carolina because that's where the jobs are. And all of this, the bottom line is jobs. Are we going to have employment for people in South Carolina? Are we going to just say, no, we're going to have an evergreen life and we're going to wave the wand and hope that something happens, that we can have some way to turn on our life?
Several things. It's going to supply energy for the residents in that area, one of the fastest growing areas on this side of the Mississippi, which is Orange County. And not only that, but it's also going to create jobs, continuing jobs for the people of this state. And that's why this plant is so important. I believe that should be built in Pee Dee area.
The answer is Ronald Reagan's answer. Renew the nuclear option. Today we're in a renaissance when it comes to renewing the nuclear option. But I want to remind you that the last nuclear plant that was built in the country was started in 1973, and 24, 25, 26 years later, it finally came online. Because the environmentalists blocked it, they passed laws. The environmentalists have a great influence into the elected officials. They passed laws, and they appointed, Jimmy Carter appointed anti-nuclear to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and it was a political thing that blocked it and blocked it and blocked it. And that's why it took 23, 25 years to get that nuclear plant online. Today, the answer is nuclear. But this is a stopgap. This one will be online in probably 7 years, 6 years. But it would take 25 or 30 years probably to get a nuclear plant online because of the governmental regulations and all the things they have to go through and all the hoops they have to jump through and all the people that are anti-nuke. The anti-nukes were wrong back when I was Secretary of Energy, and the environmentalists are wrong on this plant over in Pee Dee today. This is a stopgap that's got to be done if we're going to maintain the quality of life we have in South. We've got time to continue research to find how we can control these byproducts that come out of generating nuclear as well as coal. But we don't have time to have enough power to get this country rolling again and getting jobs done.